Hey guys, Joe here again. Guess I'm just going to show you my house, the outside, what things that I have. Well, a few things anyways, not everything. In preparation for the times in our very near future. This plan of mine and the preparations I've done didn't account for an oil leak in the Gulf of Mexico that may cause me to evacuate Florida one way or the other, or some other event that makes me have to leave Florida. My plans were in place so that I can stay here and survive several months, food, water, all that kind of stuff. And anyway, so here's some eggs from two chickens, two hens that we have. And again, by the way, I live in a development, a housing development, a neighborhood, whatever you want to call it. You can see all around here. There's the RV I just got, by the way. In case I do have to leave Florida, I can take everything important with me that I need to. But, I mean, obviously, I live in a regular neighborhood. This is, city boy type stuff, whatever you want to call it. This is one of those adult tricycles without the pedals because I haven't put them back on yet. I've converted it with a kit that I got on eBay for $300. Front wheel drive, brushless motor, 1,000 watts, which is about a horsepower or so. The batteries are in that box right there, that little lid on top. There's 4 batteries, 12 volts each in series, which makes them 48 volts. This is a 48 volt system. I've been 8 miles already just testing it and playing around with it. And when I got home from running a total of 8 miles, I checked the voltage, and I was at 90% charge. So I could go significantly far on that thing. I could easily charge it with my solar panels when I got home. This is in the event that gas goes to 10, 15, 20 bucks a gallon. This is partial food storage that we have here. These boxes down here can last years. They've got they were hand put together, canned, etc. Put a little oxygen packet in the can at one of these, my sister's church has one of those places where they go to and you barely pay whatever the fee is to go in there and pay for the stuff per item, and it's dirt cheap. It's unbelievable. And then I got a bunch of canned goods, a bunch of rice, stuff like that, lots of soup, those kind of things. Anyways, go out to the backyard. Oh, and by the way, here's my little home switch for my solar panels or the grid. If I want to go on the grid, I flip it up. If I want to go on solar, I flip it down. But when I flip it down on solar, it's only this room that we're in right now, as well as my computer room right here. And I could run and plug in the refrigerator to one of the outlets if I need to. And it'll run off the battery backup system of the solar panels. And down here are 8 what looks to be car batteries, but they're actually not. They're golf cart batteries. They're around 200 amp hours or 210 amp hours, I don't remember, each. There's 8 of them. This also is a 48 volt system. So 6 volts each times 8 is 48 volts. And this is an Outback inverter, grid tie inverter with an Outback FlexMax charge controller. This thing on the right charges the batteries and keeps them topped off at all times as long as the sun's out. This is the inverter that will actually sell electricity back to the grid. Not that I'm actually making money because I only have 1,600 watts and I need about 7,000 watts probably. But my bill is a little cheaper than most. Anyways, this thing converts that electricity right off of the batteries into my house, into that room I just showed you, and while I don't have things on, it automatically is selling back to the grid automatically. And this thing communicating with this, or I guess constantly testing the battery voltage, can tell exactly how many watts are being pushed into the batteries. So if the clouds come out and this thing was pushing out, say, 1,200 watts, and now it jumps down to 500 watts, it's not going to suck the extra power out of the batteries. It's going to instantly see the drop in voltage to the batteries and instantly make corrections. It's actually quite a nice system. Anyways, on the top of my roof, I have 8 205 watt solar panels, which you can't really see from here. Yeah. and it's approximately 1600 watts, but again, there's a loss factor in all solar panels. It's about 20%, so you can figure about 1200 watts or so. Anyways, this is my hydroponic garden that I've let go right now because it's summertime in Florida, and even though I have the shade cloth, which is 50% shade, it doesn't matter. The heat alone causes everything to wilt that I'm trying to grow, aside from probably these tomatoes, but I'm not going to sit here and waste all my fertilizer and let the system just create tomatoes. I mean, I've got I'd have a million tomatoes. I don't need tomatoes that bad. So as you can see, it's all wilting right now, but this system you're looking at right here can do 240 crops at one time, and it's all self-timed and everything. It works kind of by itself. You just have to spray either chemical-based repellent for the insects, pesticides or whatever, or you can use something that I've got, some kind of orange thing. I can't remember the name, but it's based mostly out of orange peel extract or something, and it actually kills bugs quite well, and that's completely organic. But I haven't had a chance to use it because the summer heat is stopping me right now from growing. Here, which I have 90% shade cloth, is my 2 chicken coops. That screaming noise you hear is a peacock, which there are multiple around my neighborhood that drive me nuts in the middle of the night. So anyways, I've got actually 2 very young chicks, hens in here. A little white one and a black with white spots one, and I have a duck. They're all about the same age, I think. They're about a month old or so. And then over here I've got 3 almost grown hens. Here's one. She's just about ready to lay eggs any day now. She'll let you get real close to her too. That's called a Rhode Island Red. Down here, these 2 are already laying. I don't know what they are, if they're mixed breeds or what, but they lay an egg every single day. And those eggs I just showed you in my house, I actually just got 2 and cleaned them off and put them up there just a few minutes ago. You could actually see a couple of my solar panels, 2 or 3 of them up there on the roof. There's a total of 8. Over here is my ham radio tower up there. I can listen to all channels, aircraft, police department, sheriff, emergency, Tampa Airport, all that stuff, as well as ham radio channels. It's a 2 meter, and it's another one. I can't think of what it is right now off the top of my head, but works good for communications. I've got another 2 meter ham radio that I put in my car, and I went 10 miles from here because that's where I happened to be going that day, and heard my wife loud and clear from home at the base station, which is good. So anyways, and I've got this tree back here. It's actually a bush, believe it or not, but it looks like a tree. It's a mulberry bush, mulberry tree, whatever. There was my peach tree, which did phenomenal this year. I just hacked the hell out of it because it was growing out of control and breaking branches because it was so heavy. And over here, I have those little small bananas, several of those little banana trees right there. That's about it. My little compost bin that I don't really need because I'm doing hydroponic, but one of the things you can do is take the compost, which is extremely high in nutrients, put it in these top feeder cups or whatever, feeder pots. Instead of using in the water tank inside my garage, instead of using that mixed with the chemical fertilizers that you're supposed to do this with, you can actually just put 100% water in there, let this thing feed the nutrients all the way down, and it just drips from one to the other to the other to the other. And it only runs about 2 minutes twice a day, normally, sometimes 3 times a day, like in the heat, but again, it's too hot outside, so I'm not even wasting it. So that's about it. The point of this is that all of this might in fact be in vain, because if I have to get the hell out of Florida, hell yeah, I'm taking my solar panels, I'm taking all that stuff, throwing it in my RV. I will grab that hydroponic garden. Those things aren't big space, and I'll load all that crap up in the back of my RV, my food supplies, and get out of town. So anyways, that's all I got for you. Take care.